Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the Homestead. Thought I'd do a bit of a walkabout in September the 19th today, I think. Supposedly the last day of summer. They're saying the last day of summer, which is a bit of a joke, really. But last day of, I think we've enjoyed a real, in the UK we call it an Indian summer, so because we've not really had a real summer here in Latvia. But so yeah, you can see I've just got a t-shirt on and sunglasses because it's really warm, nice and warm today. Sorry if it's a bit of noise. Gita is trimming over in the back. That's why I'm starting around the front here near the greenhouses. Have a look around, see what's going on. Talk about what's going on with the channel, really. In fact, we could do that first, I suppose. I mean, basically, I think I want to continue. I've really enjoyed having a break over summer. I've just done these tour videos to sort of regain some impetus, work out what I want to do. I want to continue the channel, but I think I want to take slightly different direction, certainly in terms of I think my videos will become longer. I'm not going to worry so much about editing, so people who watch them on TV can enjoy them more. Some people complain that they're too long, and as they are at 10 minutes, but I can't appease everyone. And I want to build, if I have to build a new audience who want longer videos about what we're doing here, then so be it, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to be making more videos that I want to make. So, yeah. Still going to be doing some food videos over winter, some recipe videos, more experimentation. I mean, similar topics, but just longer. The video length will be longer. Yeah. And gardening and stuff like that, more about the topics that I want to cover, I suppose, and how frequently we will see, really, depending on time. I probably have more time over winter than in summer, but the other thing is, as things have grown on the Instagram, I've had inquiries about consulting and stuff like that, so I'm hoping that will produce more content. I've now got a website, baltichomesteaders.com, with all the details about my consultancy on there. If you're interested in sort of replicating some of the things that we've done here, or you've got you feel the urgency for resilience and preparing yourself better for any possible crisis in the future, then give me a shout and let's connect and see how I can help you. So let's have a look. First of all, let's look at the greenhouses. What's happened with those since the last time that we had a look around? I'll turn the camera around. So here we are on the greenhouse side. Let's go in the polycarbonate greenhouse first. If you remember, we had a disease, leaf mold, come in here, and everything's coming to an end now. We've seen some production in here, but way down on what it normally is. You can see, basically, we stopped watering everything. We're trying to take in fruit as it occurs, really. You'll see some ripe fruit now. That's purely because the kitchen is chock-a-block with stuff, and in the other greenhouse you'll see the same. We'll be doing a big pick soon and canning it all. We've done loads of canning already, so there is some preserved. It's not quite as bad as I thought it might be, but it could have been a lot better. So yeah, not a pretty sight. These have done okay. These mandarin, they've obviously got some protection against leaf mold. You can see why they're called mandarin tomatoes by their colour. And there was one other in here that had done well. Can't remember which one it was. Oh, there's one down the end there. Cucumbers have done well, but we'll get that cleared out soon, I think, that one. We've had a really good harvest of the runner beans. We've been harvesting them green. We've also now harvested some for seeds. There's still a load on there. If we get a frost soon, we will have to move quick to get these in and dried if there are some more beans. These are lovely, these white, we call them butter beans, I think possibly lima beans. Nice big white beans, look at those. Yeah. And then the runner beans, which are more the purpley ones. Cabbage, zucchini's coming to an end. We've really enjoyed the wildness, I suppose, of the calendula this year. But I would like to keep it a bit more controlled next year, not quite as wild. And it's still nice that we've got the colour now. One single sunflower came up. I planted 3 there. Down there, we've been working on the sort of the potato, all the. Let's have a look. Let's go around. So, all the spoils from the potatoes on the field side are now around on here as a mulch. That's getting prepared for garlic. I mean, might even buy more garlic this year and double up. And now we can start playing about with this and going further down, removing the plastic, putting more mulch down to increase those beds back to how it used to be. But rather than the beds being sort of on contour, they'll be against contour. So that way rather than that way. Some beans down here that we need picking. Beans for dried seed for soups and whatnot. They look okay. Pumpkins, because of the terrible year we've had, the pumpkins haven't done anything well. That's the sort of thing that they've done. Not a lot. Really enjoyed. Tell you what, let's go into the greenhouse first before I lose thread. So similar story here. Lots of nice big fruit, which they're only hanging here because we haven't got room in the kitchen. We'll do a massive pick and then we'll jar the lot, as I've said, can the lot. I want to point out this galaxy. This is new to me this year. Look at this. Beautiful. Called a galaxy. A better example there, I think. Galaxy tomato. Grown here in Latvia. I got the seeds in Latvia. Be saving some of those. Tasty fruit as well, but looking spectacular. Some of that leaf mold in here, but not as bad. A bit more controlled. Paprikas and chilies are starting to ripen up at last. Not a very good harvest of those. Well, they've done okay, but these garden chilies, they're called, is a literal translation. But I think they're called Yanka. They're an F1. I've not tasted one yet, but I will do. Not supposed to be that hot, so more of just a mild chili. Yeah, I'm pleased how these bears, the bear's blood tomatoes, have come about now. Get those canned up. Got a load of lamb's leaf lettuce, which seeded last year, I think, and then that is now come up, which will see us through. We'll live into winter. And I've got a few sort of random Chinese cabbages, which they got really hit by cabbage butterfly this year. As you'll see on the field, it's been horrendous, the cabbage butterfly this year, which is making me review things for next year, but still. And then there's the sweet potato plant, which is doing really well. So very soon we'll be harvesting that. Once those leaves sort of show a sign of they've had enough, we'll harvest that. Still got blackberries here, which are really nice, still fruiting. So enjoyed those. We've got the autumnal raspberries, which are now fruiting. The sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes, are now in flower, which is always a nice streak of colour in the autumn. So we'll enjoy those raspberries. Let's go around to the main garden. There's a couple of those Sidonia Japanese quince. Okay, in the garden. I think one of the things I want to do, which will be in a forthcoming video, is build a tool rack here. I've always wanted a tool rack, but until I built the compost piles previous year or whenever it was, year before last, sorry. I wouldn't have been able to do that, but now I really want for next year to have a tool rack. I might even do that next week and make a video about it. We shall see. We've got a load of summer raspberry bushes to go there, which would be nice. You can see all the potatoes are harvested now. I think you saw that on a short that I did. Peas are in flower here, which I originally just did for shoots, but who knows, might get something out of them. If not, just shoots. Coriander is going into flower. I don't know whether there will be enough heat here in Latvia to make it go into seed. So what I might do is pick a few out, dig a few out and put them in the greenhouse that we've just been in and help them go to seed so that we can take something from them rather than just leaves. But it's been nice to have coriander this year. Cilantro, don't you call it in America? This end of the garden generally has become really messy. It's time for this end to be renewed. All the wood chips and the beds sort of re-sorted out, which I find I have to do with this garden every few years, 4 or 5 years. It's not that big of a deal really. And also because it's on a slight slope, I think when we do have big rain events, some of it gets washed down. I've got better at stopping the washing, so I hope if I do it this time it will last better. But it just facilitates more weeds by having no sort of wood chips there and things washing away. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess. This here is. And also this was the bed with the autumnal brassicas in, which you just can't see. They've been devastated by the butterfly worms, and the Chinese cabbage as well gone, despite having the coriander here. Just nothing left. But I know that other people have made the same comments. I was glad that it wasn't kind of just me, I suppose, in one respect. I've enjoyed again having the calendula here, a bit of colour, but they go out of control, and I want them a bit more contained. What I need is kind of a dwarf calendula for next year. So I need to see if there's something like that out there, because I really enjoy having the colour at the end of the beds, along this walkway here. But I just want something that doesn't kind of fall over into the beds and is just a bit more manageable. But I like the contrast of the orange and the green. It works really well. And obviously the pollinators like it. There's bees. I've seen bees. There's one there. Come out here to get on there. Need to collect the seeds for the broad beans. And hopefully they'll be okay. There's still some zucchini over there that should grow big. But the chickens will have those if we don't. It's done well. Could have done better if the summer was better, but I don't want to keep moaning about the summer. Carrot harvest is yet to come. We have been pulling carrots. Obviously, we've been eating them so far. The size looks positive this year. I'm really pleased about the size, but there's a lot of forking, and I don't know why that is. But ones that are coming out that are full size are really nice. So we'll see when we do the harvest in a couple of weeks or something. But it's certainly not because of hard soil, because we've got very soft soil here, very sandy soil. You can see the devastation of maybe it's easier when it's not my shadow, but I mean, we will get some more kale leaves. They'll start growing again as they have done previous years, but they've really taken a hit. These are just waiting here for me to cut them off and chop them up, really. I have to use nets next year. No two ways about it. Sweet corn's been great this year. That's one of the surprises. We thought we were going to have a bad year with sweet corn because of the summer. It suffered a bit with germination. No, so not germination, pollination. Because of the pollen falling down and the days, the timing of it was really bad. It had loads of rain, and the cobs, I'll maybe put a photo up if I've got one. The cobs were, the top bits weren't pollinated, the bottom halves were, but those bottom halves were really nice. There were a few full ones, but so we got some frozen. Pumpkins, again, not really done anything. There's a few small ones around. I think is there one down here? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do anything at all. I can see a slightly bigger one over there. The beds, one thing I have noticed is the beds that had the cow manure on this year, which was this one, and that one, much better with weeds. Once you've got over those weeds which were in the cow manure, which were lamb's quarter, essentially, and a few nettles, most of those were dealt with during the season. They've been empty now for maybe a month. Very few weeds. I've not had to weed it or run a cultivator through or anything, just along the edges, which is what you expect with this type of beds. That's normal for any of the beds here. But very few weeds, which is good. And I wonder if that's a result of the soil. And I'm also, the other thing that was interesting, and I think I did a short on it. Maybe I've not published it yet. Quality of the soil naturally is much better up here because of the thick layer of cow manure. These are all brassicas as well, and none of these have been attacked. Or one or two, like very slightly, but not devastated like down the other end where the soil was a lot worse. So I found that really interesting, an interesting observation. We've got vodka radish here, Chinese cabbage. They are a bit close, but that was because it's more of a cover crop. And the ragged kale, red Russian kale. But, it's not touched by the cabbage butterflies. And these are younger plants. They're more tender and more susceptible. So that was really interesting. And the same with the vodka radish over there, which I think you can see a few white ones. They're growing nicely. They'll be ready soon. I don't know what we'll do with all this vodka radish, but the trial garden, the fertilizer trial garden, is now finished. Finished that yesterday, did the beetroots from it, and I'll be compiling a video from the whole year in the coming weeks. So you'll see the whole trial, what happened, and what my thoughts are on the results, and also the fertilizer industry as a whole here in Latvia, and how it could be improved. More beetroots there. Sort of salad size, I suppose, really good for boiling and salads and some preserving as well. So some bigger ones and smaller ones. Gherkins were again disappointing, just a victim of the summer really, but we did have a few. I can see a few there. My soybean experiment, I'm pleased to say that there will be some soybeans that I can store. If we're going to get a frost next week, I will need to yank these out and store them upstairs so that the pods dry. I think some of them are thin, but some of them have definitely got beans in, soybeans. So we'll be able to plant them next year. Those look quite nice. I think as long as there's enough for next year, I'll be quite happy really, and to increase the crop. Pick the bigger ones out. You can see amaranth would normally be very stunted because of the temperatures. It wants to go into flower and to seed now, but it's struggling. But it's nice colour to have in the garden. Same story with the sorghum. That should be sort of up here somewhere. It wants to go into seed. Whether there just won't be time at the end of the day. However, the sunflowers are looking great. They've just come into flower in the last couple of weeks. Whereas this would normally be middle of August, early August flowering. It's taken ages because we've had this late summer. So I will pick, I think, this head and this head, keep some seeds from it, and grow those next year. They're the two biggest heads really. The others are pretty and can be left for the birds or given to the chickens. The black radish that were in this bed I've harvested already. Some went straight to flower to seed, bolted, and the rest were attacked by those cabbage moths, but we did get a few. Gita's mum likes that black radish. Still got the sweet potato experiment in the field. I'm not expecting anything from these, if I'm completely honest. But again, I've been covering that in a separate video. And there's some more over there. So yeah, I think I may have said before it was the wrong year to do that kind of experiment, but I wasn't to know that really at the start of the year. There's some melons, quote unquote. There's another one there somewhere. Really small, teeny, and more sweet potatoes. More carrots, which will be harvested at the same time. Again, same size. So the spacing was good this year for the carrots. Definitely, that really helped with the pelleted seeds. Some mangolds there, chard. So there we go. Potatoes were good as well. We had, I think, 8 crates. Well, probably more than that because the harvesting was split up. But again, I think you've seen the short on that recently. We had some friends over from the UK and helped us harvest the potatoes. What we'll do now is take the plastic, bring it back over, and then we're going to cut it down here. So we always have a large plastic sheet for covering the potato rows, and that will let this stuff rot down that's left over. The rest, this is where that straw came for the other side, and kill the weeds, and that will be ready again for next year. And by splitting it, it allows us to kind of roll back this side when we're ready to, in order to start developing that garden. So there we go. Everything will start coming to an end soon. A few cabbages left that the chickens can have. So thanks for being a part of what we're doing. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you've got any questions, do leave them in the comments below. Always happy to answer those. Thumbs up if you're able to do that and you feel that the video was helpful for you in some way. Like I say, check out the website, baltichomesteaders.com. If you've got any inquiries, you think we might be able to help you in your journey, then give me a shout really. And I will start. You'll start to see videos appearing again more regularly, I think, on YouTube. I've got 3 videos that I've been filming across the whole year: greenhouses, sweet potatoes experiment, and the trial. So there's all those to edit and go up soon, as well as a few food ones that I'm working on, recipes and that sort of stuff. So I really appreciate you watching the videos and being a part of what we're doing. Thank you for your questions and comments, etc. I enjoy reading those, and I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Bye for now.